Okay, everybody, we're going to do our 18th sketch, and we're going to be using this My Favorite Things sketch. And since I have the kit from, I want to say it was July's kit with Scrapbooking with Me Boutique, I decided that I wanted to use some of the papers from that paper pack to do this particular sketch. And this one is from Couture Creations, and it's the Vintage Rose Garden. And I was just trying to go through here, show you some of the papers. And what I decided to do for the card, I wanted to make it a little bit bigger than the standard 5.5 by 4 1/4. So I decided, it was like right around here that I decided the easiest way and the easiest thing to do would be to cut at 6 and then turn my sheet and cut it right at 10. So then that way it would make the card a 5 by 6 card. And I'm just going to grab my score pail or score buddy, and we're going to score at 5 inches to create our fold. Just use my Teflon, I don't know why I can't say the word right now, but that bone folder on black paper, it doesn't leave that shine or like lines on it. I really like it. So for this design, I decided that I knew I wanted something on the bottom that was more solid than overly patterned. And then like the first 2 sheets were perfect. And I was like, okay, so there's this butterfly sheet, which is right here, that I saw the very first time. I want to say Miss Edith showed us the pack, and I was like, oh, I love that sheet. So now what we're going to do, I'm just double checking my measurement, making sure it is 5 by 6, which it is. I decided that underneath the pattern paper, I wanted a white border instead of doing black, because especially on the bottom, black on black, you're not really going to see much contrast, but with that white as an edge, it makes it really nice. So I went ahead and I cut most of the pages off screen. Right here, I'm doing the top strip of the actual sketch, so that way those are all ready to put together. So for each piece, there is a layer of white underneath, okay? So the main one, I cut the white page at 5 7/8 and 4 7/8. And then I cut the pattern paper at 5 3/4 and 4 3/4. And that creates the bottom piece right there with the green. The next one, I want to say that one wound up being something like, I want to say it was 3.5 by 4.5, something like that. And then I just did 1/8 of an inch around for the white border. And I'm just using snail adhesive to put down this piece right in the center. And then we're going to attach our strip to its mat. And then once we have that attached, we're going to go ahead and attach that to the bottom of the card, making sure there's just a little bit of the smaller square sticking out on the bottom. Trying to make it as even as possible. And then this top piece, which measured at 1.5 for the pattern paper, I took the white matte piece and went 1/8 of an inch, so it was 1 5/8. And I just took it as long as my base white, which was the 5 7/8 by 4 7/8. So I made sure that the white, the matte piece, was as long as our, the bottom base piece, so it wasn't looking weird. So everything is nice and neat and tidy. And before The actual video I had set aside for brads, just like they have them in the picture. I just wanted to make sure I was putting them in the right spot. And if you don't have this tool, I know there's a lot of pickup tools. I actually just got the one of the ones from the boutique on order. So, but this one in particular I like because it's by We Are Memory Keepers, and it helps open the brads. So that way, you know how like sometimes that piece, that sharp piece, gets up in your nail and it hurts so bad? Well, with this one, you don't have to worry about it because the point actually separates the brads, and then I use it to help flatten it down to get it as flat as possible to the page. So we're just making our final hole, putting in our brad, and then we're going to flip it over and use the tool one more time. And to put this on the card, I decided to use my foam tape. I like to use foam tape when I have the brads or anything like that that's sticking out on the bottom. Normally I try and put it around or right on top of the brad pieces, but I just thought that it would be easier if we went around it this time. You know, like sometimes with crafting is just whatever you're feeling at the moment, right? You're putting it together, you're thinking, oh, I want to do this, and in the midst of doing it, something changes or something happens and you revamp it. But that is the card. So we're going to go ahead and take the backing off, which on the 3M foam, it really doesn't take that long. You just got to get that little piece up. And really, I could have used, you know, my pickup tool on that. I could have used, I've seen like Kathy Orta use a X-Acto knife. So whatever you're comfortable with. So for the sentiment, I decided to use one of the same stamps I think I used on one of our last, not the last video, but the sketch we did on Tuesday. Or not the sketch, it was a card that we did on Tuesday. And I'm just going to use it again because lately stuff that I've used once has stayed on my desk. So that's why you see it being used more, because it's happened to be right there and I hadn't put it up yet. So we're going to go ahead and step down, put the stamp down. We're using Versamark Black Onyx ink. And remember, with the clear stamps, you always want to have some cushion, just so that way you get even pressure. And then underneath this stamp right here, we're going to put birthday wishes. And once I put the ink away, I knew I wanted to not only put that on the front, but I wanted to use foam tape for that as well, because I wasn't sure if I was going to use sequins or bling. I really don't think I'm going to add anything else as far as that, but what did pop into my mind was the Nouveau inks, or what are these called? The Crystal Drops by Nouveau. And on this particular project, I decided to use, I think the color is right here. Okay, this one was Autumn Red. I decided, it took me a second to find it. You'll see as on the side, I'm going to start putting piles of, not piles, but rows of the droplets, because I'm trying to get to the color that I'm looking for here. Since the paper has that rose color that to me is like an autumn color, I thought the autumn red would work out best. I could have used green because the background being green, that definitely could have worked, but I just wanted a little bit of color without it going too crazy. So the key with these drops, which I don't listen to my own law, you know, when it comes to using this, and I wind up getting like one large blob. But the key is not to let the tip of the nozzle touch the paper. Like if you keep it above the paper as you're putting down your droplet, it gives you a nice even like a flat, you know, enamel dot look on the card. And so really what I'm just doing is I'm creating these dots all over the card. On some spots where there are already black dots, I put some of it on top, and I'm just giving the card, you know, just giving it a little bit of detail, a little bit of spunk. And just like with stickles, you just, once you put it on, you just want to set it aside. So that way you can make sure that, you know, it dries and it dries evenly. Okay? Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I want to make sure, or ask you to make sure that you hit the like button and please subscribe. We are getting closer. I think we're now at 278. So thank you to all my subbies, and I'm just very happy and excited, and I'm working on some more projects for the card a day blog challenge, and we're also, you know, working with the boutique. So please keep your eyes out. Lots of great things to come, and I will see you with the next video.